is the ministry of prayer. And so we know that part of our tools to connect with the divine is through prayer and meditation. And so we always begin our service honoring that Christ light that shines within us. That's part of our 5 unity principles, that we are always, no matter what, a part of the divine. And our new affirmation is, I am gratefully and wonderfully blessed. Say that with me. I am gratefully and wonderfully blessed. Our lead into prayer is Amen, and it is in your songbook as well.
Actually, it's I am so blessed.
Oh, I am so blessed.
Not in the songbook today. But you all know it. It's I am so blessed, you are so blessed, we are so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. You are so blessed. You are so blessed. You are so grateful for all that you have. You are so blessed. You are so blessed. You are so grateful. You are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
This is the daily word for Sunday, November 3rd, 2019. I let the life of God flow through me now, and I am healed. Divine life, the life of God, is always present everywhere. It is the energy that maintains my physical body in perfect balance. Even when I am ill or in pain, divine life is always active, always seeking more complete expression through me. When I feel a need for healing, I gently let go of any thought of illness and give my full attention to the energy of divine life within me. I bless my body and thank it for serving me. As I turn my attention inward and focus on the rhythm of my breath, I become aware of the vibrant energy of divine life active everywhere in my body. I feel this life restoring me to my natural state of wholeness. I let the life of God flow through me now, and I am healed. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 8.
What a great daily word for today. So I invite you now to breathe in to that life that's flowing through you. Take another deep breath in. And I invite you to close your eyes, bow your head if that's part of your tradition. As we enter into this time of prayer, we breathe into an awareness that the life force that is in us is in every being. That this same light, this same love, this same divinity is in all things, connecting us to all that is. And in this awareness of connectedness, in this awareness of the healing life that flows through us, we call forth those names that we are holding in prayer this morning. So please whisper aloud anyone you want us to hold in this vibration. To this powerful vibration of love and light and healing, we call forth the names of Pastor Josh, Pat B., Mary C., Colleen, Reverend Geis, Jane L., Barb B., Carol G., Carol B., Judy B., Linda C., Unity of Fort Wayne, Mary B., Andy B., Teresa B., D.S., Archer, the Westfall family, O's, Orville, S.A., L.C., Lil, the Worleys, Jen and kids, Chara and kids, Grace Marie, Rosetta, Keisha, Ruthie, Barb and Bob, my Unity family, East Central Towers, the O'Shea family and friends, the Trentman family, TP, Unity Music Ministry, MB, JR, Jackie W., Trevor W., Susan, Kat V., Thelma, Maria, Desi, Dina, Sandra L., Andrea B., Tammy, Jane R., Mary R., Dawn, Ron and Mary B., the Gatton family, all those impacted by the California fires, all those impacted by the tornadoes in Texas, our sanctuary and its completion in divine order, Holly and Esther and Greg. We breathe into the divine life, the life of God that is present everywhere, knowing that even now in this moment, that life is present in each and every name that we have called. That there is a perfect balance, and that there is a divine order, just as summer led to fall as we prepare for winter. We know that regardless of our thoughts, regardless of our outer experience, inside, within us, there is a light that shines, that assures us that all is well. And so it is, all women, all children. Amen.
We have our separate walk, so we say. Still we are going the same way. We have planted and sowed our seeds. Now it's harvest time and we reap what we need. Are we on a separate path, each holding one as we go? Are we asking the Spirit to be the one to reap and sow? Are we on a separate path, each holding one as we go? Are we asking the Spirit to be the one to reap and sow? It's the sow's harvest time, and we have grown. The loving of the Spirit is what we've sown. Are we on a separate path, each holding one as we go? Are we asking the Spirit to be the one to reap and sow? Are we on a separate path, each holding one as we go? Are we asking the Spirit to be the one to reap and sow? To be the one to reap and sow? To be the one to reap and sow?
Good morning, community.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you guys here in this brisk, crisp, but sunshiny day. I have to tell you, I got back from Fort Wayne and I went, yeah, it's fall in Fort Wayne. It is actually very good to be back with you. I wander around a lot, spreading the unity message wherever I go. And I have to tell you, it's always good to come back home. I'm always so grateful to be here with each and every one of you. And it's so good to see new faces, to see faces I haven't seen for a while, and to have all of you back here with us this morning. So it's really important for us in this season of gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness to remember to take time to pause. We forget, we're always so busy doing things and going here and going there and checking the next thing off our list that we forget to pause. We forget the power of the pause. And so this month, we're going to take time to pause. I'm going to invite you into a place of stopping, breathing, and pausing. So 2 weeks ago Friday, my friend Carol Bernard and I set off on a wondrous adventure. We loaded up my RAV and we headed for Dallas, Texas. She went to go see her son, and I went to teach spiritual education and enrichment classes to a bunch of students from all over the United States who hope to be licensed Unity teachers or future Unity ministers, and some of them just like to learn. I know there's a few of you in the room that are like that. And so we headed down to Dallas, Texas. We had a great time. But I tell you, I learned the power of pause. There's nothing like 7 tornadoes coming through where you live to teach you to stop in your tracks, to teach you to stop and to pause. And so we were only there 2 days when all of the tornadoes came through Dallas County. There were 7 of them total. 2 of them were E5s, which is the most severe, which means they leveled the areas that they were at. It gives me chills just talking about it, even now. in those moments, it was really important to pause. So I have to tell you, in my adventurous spirit, I woke up about midnight and I heard all this clanking around. And so, the very best thing you should do in a severe thunderstorm is walk out on your balcony to check it out. And I opened the door and in flew several limbs and leaves. And then it was like a cartoon character, right? That's why I tried to push the door back shut again. I took a pause, I took a deep breath, and I said some prayers, and I went back to bed. On Monday morning, all of the teachers and the minister and the staff at Unity of Dallas were frantically texting each other. Oh my God, what are we going to do? This is awful. This is terrible. What should we do? Should we just roll it in? This is a divine sign. Somebody said I about fell out of my chair. This is a sign of God. We should all turn back and go home.
Wow.
Right, wow. And amidst all of the chaos of us trying to figure out what we were going to do, someone said, why don't we stop? Why don't we just pause? Why don't we pause and breathe? So we stopped and we took a breath, and many of the roads were impassable in Dallas. It was taking people hours to get to work. There was an astronomical number of people that were without electricity. There were 2,000 school children that woke up Monday morning and no longer had schools to attend because their schools had been so severely damaged. And in that pause, we remembered to be grateful. Right? We remembered to breathe in because, in the midst of those 7 tornadoes, in all of the destruction, not a single person lost their life. And in the midst of all that destruction, not a single person was severely injured. Wow. Things can look really, really bad until you pause to be grateful. Till you take a minute to breathe in. So we all decided that we would cancel classes on Monday and that we would pause and that we would step back. Sometimes the best thing we can do is step away from our feelings, step back from all of our thoughts about what needs to happen, our judgments about why it should or shouldn't happen, why are they acting this way, why are they treating me this way, to take a step back away from trying to get it done, to find the solution. Sometimes we need to pause and just take a step back. And in the news that day, we heard about someone else who took a step back. He was the manager of the Home Depot, which happened to only be about 3 or 4 blocks from the church. I had an opportunity to go by there several times the rest of the week. And his alerts had been going off on his cell phone. And his customers wanted things, his staff wanted things. But he was watching the weather, and he decided to go inside his office and close the door and to pause. And despite all the things that were going on in his head about what should I do, we're going to lose sales, what's the long-term repercussions of my decisions, he decided to take a step back and to wait and to see what would happen. You see, until we can take a step back and stop and breathe, there is not room for another way. There's not room for something different to emerge. There's not room for divine guidance to step in and to help. And the next thing that happened was he made a decision to step aside. He made a decision to get out of his own way. Now, I know none of you ever stand in your own way. You're never so determined to make something happen that it just turns into a cluster, right? Nobody here ever does that. Sometimes when I keep banging my head against the wall, eventually I get tired and go, you know, maybe I should just step aside now. Maybe I should let someone else do it. So he stepped aside. We did too. The staff were having conversations again about maybe we should just give everybody their money back and we should just send everybody home. But some of us, students and teachers, had traveled from long distances. And we were pretty committed to teaching, to doing what needed to be done that day. But we all came into an agreement that we would overnight, we would pray, we would meditate, and we would get out of the way and let something else emerge. That we would allow ourselves to be divinely guided. The store manager made a decision that day to close the store. He didn't call corporate. He didn't call his regional manager. He didn't call anybody. He went through the store and told everybody in person, we are closing now. Go out to your car, put it back on the shelf. It'll be here next time. We're leaving now. And he cleared his store. An hour later, one of those 7 tornadoes touched down at the Home Depot. Completely collapsed the front of the store and sent the Home Depot sign reeling across the parking lot. It's very possible because he was willing to step back and to step aside and to listen to his inner guidance that lives were saved that day. You know, we'll never know. Now, at Unity of Dallas, our outcome was not nearly as dramatic or as heroic as that. However, we did make a decision collectively that we would hold classes on Tuesday and that whoever could come would come. And what I got to see the rest of the week was how God used that circumstance. Because what I saw was people come together and connect in a really deep and profound way. One of the things that happened is my host and hostess, we were not touched by the tornado. We had storms, we had limbs down, but we had electricity. And so they invited all of the other teachers that were in places where there was not electricity to come and stay at our house. And they cooked meals for people, you know, so everybody could come and get nourishment and they could spend the night and have hot water if they wanted to. Students reached out to people they hadn't even met yet and said, if your hotel doesn't have electricity, how about I'll come get you and I'll take you to dinner? How about I'll share my hotel room with you? Complete strangers reached out and shared hotel rooms together, shared meals together, and came together to help one another in spirit and in love. It was beautiful. And I can tell you on Tuesday morning, we had no electricity at the church. The church, by the way, was undamaged, even though the road in front of it, the road before it, was completely closed because of trees down. The church itself was not touched. But we had no electricity, so we went in, we opened windows. We taught by sunlight, without PowerPoints, without gizmos, without gimmicks, kind of like Jesus. And much to our amazement, it was just fun. We really didn't need all that anyway. We didn't need handouts. We didn't need maps. We didn't need anything but each other. And the students were able to engage in a much different way because we're just sitting around with the lights on, with the lights out, in the sunshine, talking about the things that we've been teaching. In every life situation, in every challenge, in every chaos, in every relationship, if we take time to pause, breathe, step back, be willing to step back. I guarantee you, unless someone is in immediate need of CPR on the floor, there's nothing that's immediate. We think there is, but there's really not. There's always time to make a choice, to pause, to step back out of our feelings, out of our thoughts, out of the chaos of our minds, so that we can become still and know. Stepping aside, giving up what we think is the way it has to be done, giving up the way we think it has to be resolved, giving up the way we want things to go, and being willing to step aside and let Spirit bring us a greater plan, a better way. And then to listen deeply. I promise that when you pause, God, Source, will always answer. Now, you may not hear something in your head say, dump that guy, quit that job, but you will know, like you know that you will have that inner stirring that tells you where to go, what to do, what to say. We talked about that Stowe Good song not too long ago. We were talking about being Spirit-led. About listening. Oh Lord, tell me where to go, what to say, what to do. It's there. It's there in the pit of your stomach. It's there in the heartbeat. It's there in your soul. It's there in your mind. The answer is there. We only have to pause and to listen. I can tell you that as we gathered together in those classrooms that Tuesday morning, there were tears. People cried as they shared about being in hotel rooms without electricity, stuck in bathrooms for hours while they waited for the sirens to go away. There were also those of us that laughed. In the midst of the tears, were able to laugh at this being the most memorable SEE ever. And I can tell you, I took a lot of grief for being Glenda, the good witch that brought the tornado from the Midwest. And we all took time to pause, to hold hands, and to pray for all of those who were impacted by those tornadoes. And to also lift our voices in gratitude and appreciation for everyone who had been spared. For everything that we were appreciating that day. It was amazing. Halfway through the day, the lights came on. I didn't even notice. I'm like doing something, and I look up and go, oh, there's lights! And someone said, and God said. We were so appreciative of the lights. You know, of the lights again, of electricity. And just appreciative that despite the tornadoes, we were a community. Different states, different spiritual centers, all of one accord because we were the unity in community. Take time this month to pause. And that starts now. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And as you breathe one more time, I want to invite you to close your eyes, or at least look down at the floor so that you're not distracted. And I want you to take a moment to pause. In this moment, where do you need to step back? Where is there a person, a situation, a challenge, a conflict